Hi there, guys. Welcome back to Outdoors Brews and Barbecue. This week's episode,
Beer.
National Park. Some beer. 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 You're right, beer.
Tripped yourself over there.
Yep. But for sure, a shout out and thank you to the wife for a massive new barbecue that I just got. It was actually on one of our prior episodes.
Mm.
I'm looking forward to assembling this mammoth in the backyard to see how good it works out. I know that for those of you who are a frequent listener, that little baby's about $600, and weighs close to about 150 to 170 pounds.
Wet. No, I'm kidding.
So once fully assembled and ready to cook, there will be photos of the barbecue going up on the Instagram. But irrelevant to the barbecue section of this podcast.
He just wanted to let y'all know that he got it. Now we're gonna get some insight in it directly.
Right. We're gonna have some hands-on testing, flavoring.
I can't wait to taste that barbecue.
Hey.
Hey.
But
hey, yo.
Also throwing back to a prior episode that we have done earlier in this podcast lifespan last year. We were talking about a beer that came from Carnival Cruise Line.
Mm-hmm.
And after recently exploring one of their trips, I managed to get my hand on 3 additional beers directly from Carnival.
Perfect.
One of them is a wheat ale, the other one's an IPA, and the last one is if I'm not mistaken, it is a amber ale. So we're gonna start off with a wheat ale, and then I have a 4th beer later on set aside.
Little surprise
as a special, above average APV beer. But let's go back to the wheat ale that they have right now on here in front of the camera. It is called the Thirsty Frog. Thirsty Frog is from Carnival Cruise Lines, brewed here within the state of Florida in Lakeland, Florida. So up center, mid Florida. We're looking at a wheat ale. This little wheat ale has a average APV of if I can find it on this can, it would be handy. Because that little minor detail I did not gather before I start talking. Smooth, orangey, crisp wheat ale has.
I'm guessing like maybe.
I'm guessing
with 5.
You're close. It's a 4.8% APV.
Okay.
So
I was gonna say 4.5, but I was like, you know what? Let me give it between that 4.9 if it goes a little.
Yeah. I'm gonna start pouring some of this into a cup so we can put this beer here in front of the camera. Really light goldish tone to it.
My cup.
I'm gonna go ahead and leave this one here because I'm gonna drink that half. I'm gonna send this other half straight to Chen.
Yeah.
And then, however, there's a whole can there for you, bro. Now, I'll move the can your direction here in a second. Let me put this can in front of the camera.
Let me get that to Chen.
Hold up.
I like how you paused and just like, let me measure that again. It's going to be 50-50.
Yeah, hold up.
Chen.
Here you go, sir.
Thank you, sir.
The other can is here in front of the camera. So I'll let you go ahead and start tasting that one out. And you let me know what you think about it. I thought it was really refreshing. I feel like it's a beer that I can pair with almost any sort of, small platter, big platter, complex platter. It was very neutral.
Yeah, it's very... I've never been on a cruise, right. But I can feel this is like a cruise beer.
Oh, for sure.
It's meant to because they have to make a bunch of food and everything, so they don't want anything too... I don't know how many... I can't speak on what type of beers they have on the boat. So opened a lot of different kinds. But
let me get a little bit complex into this cruise. They actually had a brewery on board.
What?
The ship itself had a brewery on board. The brewery itself is called Perched Pig. It was a barbecue themed restaurant, while at the same time having an integrated brewery internally on the restaurant itself. They actually have a brewmaster on board. Right.
Did you speak to the brewmaster?
Oh, I spoke with the brewmaster. I took their little beer tour. I paid the wonderful $75 it was to go through this beer tour. But I went ahead and took the beer tour so I can have an understanding of how the hell do they actually gather sufficient amount of water on a ship to not only make the beer, but after you make the beer, you got to clean out everything, right? So you have water that you're disposing of
I'm sure they have
in
some type
order
of
to do
filtration
both.
system.
Exactly. So there was a lot of learning that I gathered from hearing the tour, while at the same time tasting all of their beers in one shot. So that was quite
I'm
enjoyable.
guessing that's not these beers,
These were on the menu.
but it's not. It's not that same company.
No, yeah, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was making.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The only difference between what they have on board versus what you have here now is that these are not brewed on the ship because they're already canned.
Okay.
If it's canned, it
Yeah.
wasn't brewed on the ship. If they're serving it to you from the draft, it is brewed on board. Right.
Okay.
These are brewed up in mid-state Florida, over at Lakeland. Right. So I'm gonna go ahead and start tasting some of this beer too, because my mouth dry.
Had the hiccups earlier, so I needed something.
This smooth, refreshing beer,
Yeah,
but
it's actually not bad
not bad.
for a wheat ale. Like it is very refreshing. It's giving me what is this beer? Um, what's it?
What, Blue
Hey, when
Moon?
I forget. Uh, mm, no, but it's like Blue Moon.
Yingling?
No,
No.
no. Crap, I forget it. It's like I think a sun on it.
Is that some with the little sunglasses on his face?
I think so.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that brand name. But I know exactly what you're talking about. And it has
Look,
like a
our
little.
viewers, if you know what it is, please put it in the comments for me, because your boy be forgetting things and names.
It's got a little sun with a mohawk on top of his head and some shades.
Yes,
I can't remember the name of the darn beer though. Yeah.
but it's giving me like that vibe. Like I'm feeling like that beer is what I'm feeling with this. Except the other one I think is a little more fruity taste to it.
The citrusy taste is definitely there.
Yeah, it has it, but it's the other one has more. This one has like this one's geared more toward refreshing.
Refreshing, has that like that standard ale beer taste to it. I feel like this would go great with a nice loaded sub,
Ooh,
like Italian style sub,
Italian
No.
BLT.
or it can go great with a burger. Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely have this on the burger.
Or I don't have it with any damn food, and I just sit there by the pool and get some sun.
I was about to say, yeah, be by the pool, just drinking one of these.
I'm actually trying to look up here on Untapped. What did I give this beer? Because I believe I already rated this beer while I was on the ship.
Chen, what you thinking? Okay.
Okay.
3.25 from Chen.
Okay.
It is quite refreshing, right? Like it's something I could come home and just like grab a sip of, not a sip, you know me, a can of.
That's funny. I actually gave it exactly what you gave it, Jen. I gave it 3.25.
Yeah, I was thinking like between 3.25.
That's what I had given it when I tasted it on board. Not bad. It's a very smooth, refreshing beer.
It's a solid beer.
I can have this on a camping trip. I can have this at the beach. I can have this in my backyard. It's not a beer that has to be limited to just being on a cruise. Unfortunately, the likelihood of you being able to find this off the cruise is very unusual. But if you ever do land on a Carnival cruise, this would be the beer they would probably have on board for you. But while we're finishing off this beer, because I served 2/3 a cup here next to me, let me jump to the outdoor section of this episode's podcast. We've been exploring the Southwest, so I was like, "What the hell? Let me jump to the Northwest." Other than my favorite national park, which is Yellowstone National Park, I decided to jump into a park where the one park itself has 4 basic regions: a Pacific coastline, an alpine area, and the west side, which is a temperate rainforest, and a forest that is drier on the east side than it is on the west side.
That beef there.
Within the park, there are 3 districts of ecosystems, which are subalpine forest, the wildflower meadow, and a temperate forest, and a rugged Pacific shoreline. So, the rugged Pacific shoreline is probably just going to be all rock, sand, and your wildlife, with the ocean just smacking right into the stones. And that national park is Olympic National Park over in Washington State. Like most national parks, your average entry per vehicle is about $30. If you're on a motorcycle, about $25. Or if you're an annual national park pass holder, it's about $80 per year.
Highly recommended, even if you don't go to many parks, because you're supporting your parks.
For sure, you're supporting the parks, and if you really think about it, all it takes is 3 visits to the park, and you're already made up for what you're paying.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's $30 a visit, 3 visits is 90. You already paid what you paid the $80 for.
Yep.
As far as wildlife you may encounter, I didn't go too far into details here, but as far as land animals, there was over 62 different land animals. I'll give you 5 of those basic land animals. Could be cougars, could be bobcats, could be elk, could be black-tailed deer, or it could be the good old white mountain goat. All right, just make sure he doesn't ram you in the ass. All right, but I'm bumps. All right. If you want to be
frisky there,
for real, hey. But remember, we spoke about
Please
an area.
get my number.
We spoke about an area of the park that's rugged Pacific shoreline. So there's going to be sea mammals, also marine mammals. So we could be talking about gray whales. We could be talking about orcas / killer whales. We could be talking about
favorite
humpback whales. All of these animals could be potentially found off the shore of Olympic National Park up in Washington State. As far as bird species, there's over 300 different bird species available at Olympic National Park. Right? And these are all potential animals that you may want to go have a. I love how they're laughing. What's up with the GIF?
Yeah,
yeah. I'm relating to the chat here, guys. It's a podcast episode, but we're also live streaming.
We're on Twitch, YouTube, just to remind y'all. As well as Apple Podcasts, if you're just listening.
Relaying real quick back to the national park again. For those of you who are jumping in now, the national park we've been covering on this episode is Olympic National Park, located in Washington State. Wonderful park to go experience. I feel like you have a little bit of everything. You have the shoreline, you have the open meadows, and you have what looks almost like a tropical rainforest, all within one national park, multiple different types of ecosystems. All right.
Next time I go to Washington, I got to stop by.
Just don't go in the summer. You might sweat your balls off if you go to the rainforest section.
You mean like here?
You're right. We're already
there.
We're already there year round.
And it looks like someone on chat actually got us the beer name. Natty, actually, it's Shock Top.
Damn,
that was like,
that is the
thank
name.
You, Natty.
Thank you. See? What a great wife. Thank you, baby. And again, you're watching, so thank you for the actual barbecue.
No.
I'm looking forward to putting it together when it gets to the house. I really wonder how much real estate it's going to take up in the backyard. Because I've been thinking about it since yesterday when we saw it. And
did you measure it out? Did you try to?
Oh no, I know I got space to put it. Just how much space is it going to leave me to walk around it? That's a different scenario. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's definitely bigger than the one I have now.
Okay.
And you've been to Chris's house. You've seen his barbecue. So think about that same design.
Messed up my ankle.
Right. But that one's retiring. That one's going. You still got that purple truck, by the way?
The black truck.
It's a black now?
It's been black.
It's been black?
Yeah.
Oh, I swear that shit was purple.
It's still there with the messed up transmission.
Oh, but it's not drivable.
Yes, it is, because I can't drive it, but there's an engine in the back of it, so I can't move it. Remember last time I had an engine, I was like, this is a bigger engine. This is what I can't move.
Because I was about to say, I got to find someone to take Old Faithful to the dump.
You know me, I'd gladly lend you a truck. But right now, we have an engine on the truck. So it's like, we can't do anything.
I guess I'm going to call, what's this other podcast's name? Xavier's podcast?
Oh, Popcorn Watch List.
I'm going to call Popcorn Watch List main owner and be like, yo, hook me up with some movie information, but I need your pickup truck for an afternoon. Shout out to Popcorn Watch List, by the way. They're always on their movie game all the time.
Yeah, they know what's up. When it comes to movies, the banter they got is amazing. Like that episode of myself and Xavier just going crazy about movies most of the time.
We need to get him back on an episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I want to bring him in on a...
It'd be nice to have all of them here.
On a stout-only episode.
Ooh, yes. That'd be great.
Also, I
Chen
came
would
to find
love it.
out that
How
someone
about a
else,
bourbon stout?
someone else that we know is a huge fan of stouts. So I got to partner him up with Chris and see when we can bring him and Chris onto an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because he sent me 3 photos today of 3 different stouts he tasted, and he said they were all great.
Okay.
So that's someone else that we may want to bring into the podcast down the road, and that will be Yanni.
I would love to have
Yanni's big into stouts, man.
Yanni.
Well, going from this wheat ale, I'm going to chug what's left of this because this is very smooth, and I've been trying to enjoy it.
Yeah, this is actually very relaxing. Like, I kind of don't want to chug it. I kind of just want to chill and just keep sipping on it for a bit.
Well, you had a whole damn can. I only had half a cup. Half a can.
Only half beer in your cup.
But while you finish chugging that one, I'm going to start unpacking the other one. And the other one I actually have 3 cans of. So if it is enjoyed that much by Chen, I can, by all means, give him some additional beer. I know you're going to have a whole damn can. I know that ain't no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Put that one there in front of the camera. Let me get another one. Now, for this being my smallest and cheapest cooler, I got to admit, it did its job well today. I put that thing in the trunk of my car since 8:30 this morning.
Yeah, they actually feel like you just brought it from your crib.
I mean, there's 4 ice
Little
packs
heady.
inside the cooler.
That'll do it.
And I'm trying to prevent this volcano from overloading here. But, it's an IPA. They always tend to have a bit of head.
Can't go wrong with a little head.
Can't go wrong with a little head. For those of you who don't know what head is in relations to beers, y'all have dirty minds. I know you listeners on this podcast. Head is what we call the bubbles that you have develop above your beer as you pour it. As you can see right there in front of the camera, that beer's got head. All right. I'll pour some more in. There we go. That looks about the proper amount of serving for myself. Pour this other half over here for Chen.
Chen. Oh, my bad.
Chen wasn't a big fan of IPAs at the beginning of this podcast, man.
No, he was not.
Oh.
It's stouts he's never liked.
You're not a huge stout guy?
But is there some stouts that he actually liked? He enjoyed?
Let me see if there's any hints on this thing I might want to take a look at before I hand it over your way.
Any hints? What is that? That green patch?
That green patch? That's the hoppiness, bro.
No.
Over here?
Is anything interesting there?
Born on Carnival Cruise Line, bursting with flavors, all about the relaxed vacation feeling anytime. This is a West Coast IPA style, totally hoppy, bitter, and bright. Character with a citrus and pine note. The beer is called Perched Pig is the name of the brewery, but the beer itself is the West Coast IPA Indian Pale Ale with a 6.2% APV. So we jumped up from what was the other one? 4.6, 4.8?
Yeah.
I believe it was 4.8. Oh, you got a lot of head. Volcanic eruption.
Sorry about the carpet, Chen.
It ain't the first time you baptized the room. No.
Hey, this thing went crazy.
That shit went all over that floor, Chen. My bad. All right. So as Chen goes and finds some paper towels here for Hyro, as he had a volcanic eruption with a beer can.
I'll be having little accidents sometimes.
Some little acid, bro? No,
accidents.
Don't be having no acid on this podcast.
I got the acid reflux.
No. Oh, man. But now that we've listened to the description of this West Coast IPA, I'm ready to see what citrusy pine notes Perched Pig is talking about as Hyro beats the shit out of the carpet to pick up the beer he spilled.
I'm beating that carpet meat.
You're beating the carpet? All right.
Oh my gosh, we do need a party foul button.
Well, we need some, yeah. I feel like I'm gonna have to, buy one of those things that looks similar to what Chen has up front, right in front of him. Got it. And then we can just have a trigger button right here in the middle. It's like, what a fail! No.
We could have Bertner say it.
Ooh, that would be awesome. To have Bertner's voice as some of these fail blogs. Oh my god.
Ugh, we gotta have him on again.
Oh, we got Josh is on the podcast. I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having fun on our chat like always.
You enjoy that head? Yep, always having.
Whew. All right, let me actually taste this beer now.
You let me know what you think about that smooth IPA. I expected it to be way hoppier when I first tasted it, because it is a single IPA. It is a West Coast style single IPA, but I actually like its piney aftertaste. It kind of reminds me a bit of that.
Gives me like a camp feel.
Exactly, kind of like you're breathing the natural air in a national park that's filled with pine trees around you, and you kind of get that natural like pine flavor in your mouth as you're breathing.
Yeah, you get that pine flavor.
Yeah. I already retracted everything I said in my head as I said it. I was like, damn, he's gonna throw a grenade in there somewhere.
I was gonna say it does have that pine feel, but it has like this fresh water taste to it.
Okay.
Like when you're drinking it, so it's like I feel like I'm drinking like
you're
fresh water
camping-
from a river. Like it gives me straight up camp vibes.
That's fine.
Like
You're camping at a campsite surrounded by pine trees, somewhere near Lake Placid, and you're just waiting for the gator to come out and bite your ass.
in my case, fight it.
This was
Like,
also
bring it.
I also feel though that this is a refreshing beer, smooth enough for an IPA that I can have this with quite a few different platters.
Yeah,
I don't feel it's limited to a specific genre. Of
I feel
food.
like I want something. You could eat it with different. Like I could tell from these two beers. Ooh, excuse me.
Yeah. Start with the hiccups.
These two
and you
beers
ate some
already.
fries. Now you got damn. All right, the whole you.
And you know I'm old now. That they made these two be had with multiple foods.
Right.
You're on a cruise. That's you have mad choices. With this one, I feel like what I would want it most was something smoky. Like I feel like because I already got that camp vibe, I want something smoky with it.
Some
Like
smoked chicken wings.
Yes.
With some nice mildly hot barbecue sauce.
Excuse me? Boy, I wanted to burn my mouth.
Ironically that you mentioned that, if you ever were to land aboard Carnival Horizon, which was the one that I landed on, and the one that had this brewery at midship, during the hours of 11:30 through almost 3:30 in the afternoon, they had a barbecue spot outside of the actual brewery where you can have brisket, you can have smoked mac and cheese, you can have barbecued chicken wings, you can have barbecue burgers. So it kind of, I feel like the beer was intentionally made to match almost everything they would give you at that restaurant. Right.
I can feel that.
So what do you think about that IPA, Chen? Let me look up
20. No.
What? 3.25. Let me see
right.
what the heck I rated this beer.
3.25 from Chen.
Okay.
Chen is being spoiled with IPAs now that he said like I can't get spoiled by that.
You're right. We have had some pretty damn good IPAs.
Oh yes, we had.
Yeah, so that's right. Most of our IPAs on this podcast have had very, very high ratings. When I tasted this specific beer, I have yet to rate it, so it is going to get rated here
It'll be
today.
the first time.
All right. I thought I had
So what you
already
gonna give
rated this little sucker, but apparently not. Let me take a quick photo here, and I'm going to give this beer I'm going to give it a solid 375.
375? I was thinking 3.5.
380. Sorry, I can't give it a 375 anymore.
I thought we could. No, that's right. We only go by tens.
Yeah, now we only go by tens.
I give it a 3.5. We said 3.25 for Chad. So 3.2 for Chad.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. You know,
3.5 from me. 3.
I'm rating it based off of the fact that it's a single IPA. We've had doubles and triples in this podcast.
Yes.
So just basing it off of the fact that it's a single IPA and not a double or a triple for it being as smooth as it is, I like it's hoppy, it's smooth, it's citrusy, and it's a well-balanced overall IPA. Right? So I think I'm going to give it a solid 3.8.
Okay.
Um,
Sounds legit.
And meanwhile, I'm going to continue drinking because now we're going to silence mode here because, I'm trying to swallow
You drink
some
that
liquid.
that parched pig. Wait, did you call it perched or parched?
I don't know what the fuck I said anymore. I may have said perched.
It's parched. Party foul.
There's that need
Party
for that
foul.
sound out. Parched.
Oh, man.
What I also liked about the restaurant was I wouldn't mind having the barbecue they had there. They had a actual barbecue inside the restaurant, made to the body shape of a full-on pig that was like 7 feet wide by 4 feet tall.
Dang.
So when you would open the pig's, side ribs, you had direct access straight into the actual barbecue.
That sounds perfect for our their vegans out there.
Oh, that's right. I forgot I got some vegan listeners. No. Which are none of the names I'm seeing up there in that chat right now. Because I know none of those fools up there right now are vegans.
It might be vegetarian.
Nah. None of those that I see. At least the one with the most amount of, little emojis there going on. Look at my
see? Vegetarian.
See? There we go. We finally got one in there that could possibly be now officially.
Actually, there was two because Rachel said so.
Bueno. Okay. I don't remember the last time I saw that last one eat some meat. It was well before he left where we work. No.
We got to have him on sometime.
I need to do a Funky Buddha episode, bro. And
another Funky Buddha.
We haven't really done a Funky Buddha.
Oh, no, yeah, no.
We haven't done any Funky Buddha beers.
I just drink a lot of Funky Buddha.
You just have a lot of Floridian at home all the time.
You're right.
I nailed it on the spot too, right? Yeah. It's the most commonly found Funky Buddha brewing beer at any shopping sort of market down here. IPA. Back to this IPA. I'm going to continue swallowing here.
Pause. That's another one. We should have that a sound bite of Bertner going pause.
Pause. What is this shit? I can't drink this shit. What beer is this?
Yeah. That was Bertner.
We have a vegetarian on sabbatical.
I mean, when we had him in here, we had him starting the episode off on Four Locos. Of course, he was going to be.
Oh yeah, and Steel Reserve.
And Steel Reserve.
What was it? We had Four Locos, Steel Reserve, and what else?
I don't know what the third. Yeah, because after
Four Loko was like the
we made him taste like 3 different piece of shit beers before we got him into like smooth tasting sweet cocktails.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yo, those are some good cocktails.
I'm ready to bring some of that poison back into this podcast. I'm trying to have her make one that's lychee.
Ooh.
A lychee based poison.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do it when Marcelo's in the podcast.
Well,
see if he wants. If he's on that that beans diet that he has every now and then. I don't know, he'll have enough weight to even out the poison.
It was a vibe.
Yep.
Rachel, it was a vibe. That episode was a vibe. Now, parched pig.
Parched pig.
All right.
What do you think? What's your opinion?
I give it a 3.5.
3.5?
It's not bad. IPA. Again, gives me camp vibes. Like we camping. You know what? Maybe you can use this at a festival. One of those festivals.
You know what? I'm going to keep the one that I have in the cooler. And I'm going to do a beer can chicken with this IPA.
I still got to give you the scotch. So you can make the vanilla. That thing. I finished it, but
You gotta give me the bottle. That's fine.
I'm gonna get another one. And I'm gonna have you. I'm gonna give it to you and be like, yo, cook with this. See what you can do. It'd be great if we could just have some photos up of like what you made. Just like,
I feel like I'm missing beers in here I haven't logged.
Oh,
yep, quite possibly.
What that you've had recently? Or?
Yeah. I think last episode's beer haven't been put into Untapped.
We got to go back.
That's fine. I have photos of all of them, and I have all the notes.
Hey, we're recorded.
They were recorded. You right.
We's live.
All right. Are you ready for the next beer?
Come on.
I'm always ready.
I was ready for the next beer when you handed me this one.
I
don't dislike this one.
We're keeping it on Parched Pig as the brewery. We are now moving to a toasted amber ale. A toasty high flavor with notes of sweet biscuit and cream caramel makes it an amber ale, a popular choice for Carnival Cruise Line.
Ooh.
All right. So I can see that they went complete different color tone on the can.
Still Parched Pig.
Still Parched Pig, so we're still keeping the pig design.
It's just an amber ale Parched Pig.
Right. We are slightly dropping an APV, though. That IPA had a 6.2. That shit's got me burping, too.
See?
Now we're shifting to...
Making fun of me.
Yeah, now we're shifting down to a 5% AP. According to you.
Oh, damn. This is the first time we slid down.
It's all right. It's a little roller coaster. We can go up and down.
I should have brought some bourbon. This is
a wonderful color tone to it.
Ooh.
That is a nice color.
That's nice.
That's a nice color.
That's very nice. Has that nice like brown reddish like look. Oof. If you're an amber ale and you don't look like that, get the fuck out of here. Shit.
Let's move this can over to this side.
You mean into my mouth?
Just put it in your mouth. Yo, how hard is it to twist a can on top of this countertop, bro? I can never get the darn thing aligned. No. But go ahead and take a taste. Tell me what you guys think. Let me see if I actually rated this one or not. Because if I did rate it, I can already have an idea of what we're looking at. And then you guys can go tasting that one. I did already rate this.
This one. Toasted. May I read it?
Go for it.
So, toasted amber, balanced and smooth, rich and toasty malt character with biscuit. No, you already read that.
Yeah, I did.
Caramel notes.
But if you want to read it, go
I want to read it again.
Do you feel there's a, even though it's an amber ale, do you feel there's a minor hoppiness in its flavor?
I'm gonna take a second sip because we just had an IPA.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta go low to high.
Well,
because now I gotta bring down.
It's all right.
Because I can still feel the IPA.
It's like riding the waves on a surfboard, bro.
True.
Yeah.
True.
You gotta just go with the waves. No.
Or it could be confusing the hoppiness with the IPA.
I felt when I tasted this beer.
I mean, that's why I'm taking like multiple sips right now.
It itself had a hoppiness flavor to it, other than its roasty, refreshing, and malty light flavor. It did have some minor hoppiness.
It does have a little bite, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that's why at first I was like, no, maybe it's the IPA, and it's like, no, it's this. All right. Not too bad. Very smooth, Amber.
Well, Chen
gives it a 0.5. No, I'm kidding.
He upgraded to a 3.75. You mean 3.8.
We round up.
We got around to the nearest 10 here, remember. No, now it's by 10s, bro. We started off by 2.5s. That's how the app had always been, and then they updated it to by 10s.
Man, we should still go by that. Like, I don't. All this.
I do like the roasty flavor that it has in there, other than its hoppiness. Can you have the West Coast IPA in this back to back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did.
If you're gonna go by APV levels, then yeah, we did. A mini roller coaster.
Now I wonder how this would taste like if I had this first, the amber, and then had the IPA. But like, just because this has like that bite, that
Mhm.
bitterness that an IPA does, now it has me like a little confused. Like I'm like, huh, like is it because we had the IPA or is it because this beer directly? Like, is it, you know?
Oh, it could be A or B. I'm still looking at its wonderful amber tone to it. It's got such a nice color tone. Other than its flavor's not bad. It's smooth for an amber ale. I just don't feel like this would be necessarily the amber ale I would keep all the time. Even though when I did give it a rating, I believe I gave this thing a 3.5. Yeah, I gave it a 3.5. So it's not a horrible amber ale. It still has a decent rating to it. Would I necessarily have this with almost anything? No, I think I would be selective with what I pair this beer to.
But definitely go something with pig, like cause like something fatty and salty. Like that can
I
I can
think
see
like a sweet seasoned or like some
yes.
pork chop that you pour like some sweet sauce on top of. This would be a good beer to partner that with.
Or sweet and sour veggies if you're a vegetarian.
There you go. Sweet and sour veggies if you're a vegetarian.
Not to make fun, actually, they're for real. I don't know. I'm sure there's like sweet and sour veggie, like
Oh. But back to the pork chop for
or
sure.
cauliflower wings.
Cauliflower wings. Explain how the fuck you get wings out of cauliflower.
You tell me, man. That I'm not the one who makes these.
Do they like
They're for
compress?
real.
Do they compress cauliflower into the shape of a wing?
I think so. Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah. Damn. Okay.
Hey, look, no hate. It's just like it's funny when you think about it. You be like, wait, what?
I ain't hating. I'm just trying to understand that.
No, I'm
Russ.
saying no hate from me.
I will respectfully let you eat whatever the hell you want. You know, each one goes.
Yeah, I'll grill you whatever you want.
I'll grill you whatever you want on the grill. I'll even clean that section of the grill to make sure there ain't no meat on it.
Have you had an Impossible? Like, have you cooked
Yeah,
an Impossible burger?
I haven't cooked an Impossible Burger. Did I go have an Impossible Burger when the shit was launched? Yes.
What did you
Did
think?
I notice a difference? Not at all. Now, if I would have put the regular Whopper
like-
and the Impossible Whopper next to each other, other than the wrapper, I couldn't tell the difference. in
Remember the
flavor.
chili I used to make?
Yeah.
Remember I told you it was like there's no meat in here. You're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting.
And that
for
was
you.
it's not
You know what?
vegan just
You
because
should bring
one
that chili
ingredient.
into an episode.
I should.
Bro.
It's because there's one ingredient that it just happens to have is the garlic powder that we use. That it still has dairy in it, so it doesn't make it vegan. But it was just it was.
Look at the last comment.
It's like
Oh.
yeah. That's one of the things I don't like. I should just be like, yo, let's just call it cauliflower and eat it. Then throw some sauce on it and have a good time. I was like, why should you
Bro, I just had
fall to the labels that are put for like meat eaters? Just
I just had a
go
throwback.
for your own.
I had a massive throwback just fly through my head, bro.
Of what?
I was looking at the people that were up there in the chat, and I was looking at Marcelo, and I was like, damn, I just remembered the time the fool told me, oh, this is my second beer. It's my second beer. It's my second beer. But his second beer he was the only one drinking Corona. And he had brought a whole 18-pack, and when I went back to the cooler, there were only 4 cans left floating. But he kept on saying, this is my second beer.
That sounds like my Marcelo.
So
That
I was
sounds like my Marcelo. That's
if you brought an 18-pack, and there are only 4 left, you keep on saying it's your second beer. What happened to the other 12?
well, it was my second one. That's what I tell you.
Oh, man. Good old throwback right there.
Ooh. You know what? Not a bad beer. I'm gonna give this.
What you going to give it?
You love me a good amber. It's like a 3.2, 3.3 from me.
Okay. You going to go for 3.3?
3.3. I was gonna say 3.25, but we can't do 25 anymore.
Can't do 25 no more.
I think we did 25 at the beginning, so everything I said before was a
Right.
3. it's
I'm
round
going to
up.
respectfully leave it at 3.5. And it's
It's not bad.
a
Like, I
bad
like
amber.
this. And I always tell
bad.
people it's like not everything can be a 5. 3s are perfectly fine. So yeah, when you hear 3 something, doesn't mean it's bad.
What I'm actually really interested in is the next beer. His next beer is not from Carnival Cruise Lines. It is from a brewery here within the U.S. that I managed to get this beer through Tavor.
Tavor.
We're jumping up 5 points in APV levels. We're jumping from the first one we did was a 4.8. The second one, the IPA, was a 6.2. This one's a 5. We're bouncing up to a 10.3.
Chen can't wait.
And it is a Belgian quadruple.
Quad me.
I'll let Hyra read this shit because I know I'm going to assassinate the living shit out of whatever this description says. Specifically on the name of the brewery, because the name of the brewery is all sorts of crazy. All right.
It's your boy. All right, let's see. So the name of the beer is Saturnalia. The brewery is OEC Brewing, and it's in Latin. So OEC stands for Ordinium Extrensi Cocteris.
Cojones.
They're in Oxford, Connecticut. I'd probably butchered that myself too. I have not spoken Latin since high school.
Name is complex as hell.
Very. So, tasting notes. The resulting brew of boldly flavor with notes of caramel, freshly baked bread, and honey drizzled biscuit. Hints of date and fig tumble through the pour, while a touch of bitterness and subtle citrusy nuances from the hops make a complex finish.
And then there's other information there on the can.
They
don't
might
know.
be a little extra. So that was the tasting notes. So this is from the can. Let's see. Saturnalia is our interpretation of a Belgian Trappist style quad. It is brewed using authentic Belgian Pilsner, Pale Ale, Special B, and Cara malts. It is hopped with laurel and Styrian Golding in the boil to balance out the massive malt body. Finally, the beer undergoes a warm fermentation using a classic Belgian Trappist yeast strain. Interesting.
Chin, right behind you, bro.
Yo, Chin.
Right behind you. All right.
See that's me reading right there. There you go. That's story time.
All right. Let me look up this shit on Untappd because the name itself is already unique enough.
Saturnalia?
Saturnalia. If I can only unlock my phone.
Woof.
Oof. How's it smell?
I have not smelled. I just opened this and woof.
It smells strong as hell?
No.
I'm gonna pour some in the cup so we can.
Well, it's not from the can. In my case,
I'm gonna leave some in the can so I can actually taste this thing from the can also. For those of you watching on the actual YouTube channel that we're live on,
they can see us, but those who are listening,
those who are listening, it's got a wonderful brownish red tone to it, very similar to the amber ale we had right before it. Just slightly darker notes as far as how it looks. We're looking for a rich, boozy, and bold flavor.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to try to find it here on Untappd and see what they describe about this beer. You all right there, Doc?
Yeah, man, I just coughed. I just coughed, that's all. That's why I moved the mic from my face. No, don't worry. None of these have hit me yet, okay?
3.75 from Chen.
Dang. Okay, Chen, okay.
Okay.
It is actually. I can definitely taste that this is a beer that, like, when you have it from the can, it definitely takes the flavor from the can.
That's intentionally why I left some in the can for me to taste.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I want you to taste both of them. Tell me how the cup tastes compared to the can.
So,
but it's not bad.
Based on 200 ratings on Untappd, it has an average of 4 out of 5.
Okay, not bad.
So let's see here what we're about to give this beer here today. Chen already gave it a 3.75, you said? You mean 3.80?
Hey, Chen, when you're going to open an Untappd, dog, just start putting all your stuff in there. We all follow each other so that I start doing it too.
You already tipsy, bro?
He way too drunk. He way too drunk. He way too drunk for that. Can I
Damn, I can
have
see-
one drink?
I
Only
can see
two?
what you're saying about it picking up some can flavor.
Yeah, just pick that tin, which
It
is not bad.
does-
Like I kind of I like it. Like I'm used to drinking out of a can most of the time, so or a bottle. I prefer bottle.
It's definitely malty. It's boozy. It's rich.
Mm.
I don't know how I feel about it being. Do you feel like it has a solid body format to that liquid? I mean, it looks thick when you pour it.
Thick boy.
It's
It
definitely.
looks.
It's not
I don't
transparent.
say thick. It looks not smoky.
It does have like a smoky taste to it too, though.
Does
Or maybe it's just my taste buds are fucked over by the IPA.
Well, it is 4 beers. I was gonna say it looks murky. So like,
Would you say grainy?
does have a little grain. Um, to be honest, it puts a little closest to the amber that we just had.
Okay.
Not the full flavor, but there's a bit of that like, and like I know I've had different beers, so, but it's not the mixture of having the amber and then having this one. This flavor has a bit of amber notes. Like I feel like more like an amber beer, but like it does have more richer, thicker. Like I feel like more kind of like molasses.
Okay.
Like the sugar, because it's like it is slightly sugary with the little tin from the can.
Okay. Well, not including the beers that I was missing out from last episode, this will be number 750.
Wait, what? You had 750 beers?
This is number 750 different beers tasted.
Yepa.
I've
Yeah,
still got
I-
a shit ton to go, though, to catch up to some of our visitors we've had in here before.
I wonder how many I had. I don't record anything. So
Yeah,
I keep forgetting to use Untapped.
bro, the few breweries we've already gone to together, you always see me with a fucking phone in my hand as I'm looking this shit up. You have the app on your phone.
I do actually. It always reminds me that we need to go to Jay Wakefield. It does actually. That's actually the one thing on tap.
You know what's
constantly
funny?
says is like Jay Wakefield got a new beer. And I was like,
was-
Porata needs to come with me to Jay Wakefield.
I was making a list of different breweries throughout the state of Florida, and Jake Wayfield was one of the ones I covered that I marked for sure here in you know in
In
Miami-Dade.
South Florida.
in South Florida, Miami-Dade. But as I made it
Dade, baby.
only midway up Florida on the East Coast alone, forget about West Coast. I haven't even started really scanning through the West
Going
Coast.
to like Naples, y going arriba.
The only one I checked off in Tampa right off the bat was Cigar City because I know that's
Mm.
where they're located. But just on the East Coast from like West Palm down, I've already marked over 63 different breweries.
Diablo. Now,
There's
now
a-
you got me curious because now I want to see how.
There's a whole lot more breweries than I expected there is in
Florida
Florida.
has a lot,
alone.
man. Florida has a lot.
Yeah. Orlando's got a couple,
Mm.
and then Jacksonville also has a
Panhandle
couple.
has a few.
Right, of course. They're in the middle of BFE though.
Hey, but I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, I get you.
Just got Florida. Florida has a lot of breweries compared to like we always think like breweries like Colorado or California or like
Bro, this
Florida got it.
quadruple it's strong.
yeah. I can taste the strength.
This quadruple is strong. I ain't gonna lie. This quadruple could
Chen,
be.
are you feeling it?
This quadruple
Do
will
you
make
feel
Chen
it?
have to go to Chipotle.
Not really. He's like not really, and then he just like falls over. We're done.
Its flavor tone definitely describes the force there is in this one. The force is strong in this one.
The force is strong. I was like the Foresters. I was like Foresters, that crappy like wannabe Australian beer. Foresters.
Oh.
Yeah, you tell an Australian that you drink Foresters, they're like, what?
First of all, I tried
What?
that beer for the first time
Caca.
halfway through the beginning of last year.
We should have that on the show with a couple people.
before we. I mean, that's a beer that's going to be on the next episode. We have George in. There eventually got to be an episode that we do Bud Light, Coors Light,
I've always said
Miller
that.
Light. Corona Light.
That should have been the episode for the Super Bowl. Last.
It could have been.
Sports fans, mostly on when you hit the stadium, you don't have many choices. You have
bro.
Corona, you have Miller Lite or Bud Light, maybe Bud, which normally I go to like Bud Light. I'd rather have Bud. I was like, why do I need light? Like, stop giving me fucking light. Like, stop giving me more water in my beer.
Because that's the one people will buy the most of.
Yeah. Because people spend more money. Exactly. The way it's smarter, because then people keep drinking it. You need to drink more to get drunk, spend more money. And you have to go to the bathroom more. And once you go to the bathroom, you just walk out and get another one.
And
that's me. Normally, I try to go, if there's like liquor, I just be like, yo, just give me like a double. I'll be back in a bit.
So what you think about this last one? This quadruple?
This quadruple gets a 3.75 from me. 3.8.
Okay.
I gotta correct myself.
I also gave it a 3.8.
I like it. The Saturnalia. Saturnalia.
Yeah, I gave it also a 3.8. I was refreshing my screen here because I was looking at the perched pig.
Parched.
Yeah.
Said perched. That's when you first said. That's what I was confused. When I grabbed the can, I'm like, I was thinking like, oh, that's a pretty dope name, like a perched pig, like on like a branch or something. That's a great logo. And I look like, no, parched pig. It's just dry. Hey, maybe we should start brewing beers and make perched pig, like a pig on top. Pig on top of a branch is our logo.
A pigeon with a pig's face.
What, a pigeon with a pig's face? Is that what you just said? You know what? Hey, look at that. Here, you're probably getting your next brewery here.
That's your logo right there, bro.
First, we gotta start brewing.
I mean, it'll be an owl with a pig's face. There you go.
Boy loves owls.
Oh.
I hate pigeons.
They just shit a lot and they're annoying as hell when it comes to their sounds.
Grew up in New York, man.
You got baptized by a couple, I'm sure.
Nah, I just hated them.
Well, guys, to go back real quick to the barbecue I mentioned at the beginning of the episode that was officially added to my collection at home. It was mentioned on a few episodes back. It is called the Grand Champ, the offset smoker. Was just added to my collection, thanks to my wife for adding it to my collection.
He's going a little more in depth from the beginning.
And it is. I was completely off by 100 pounds. It weighs 250 pounds. How the fuck am I going to get this shit in my car?
I'm only 30 pounds lighter than it.
Already. And I'm only 18 pounds heavier than it. Anyways, any other comments you got, Harold? Other than I'm going to finish these beers?
Oh, hell yeah. That was exactly what I was about to say. You said it for me. Chen, how you feeling over there? You have any words for our fans out there?
If you like
Chen
us,
just says like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Now, follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on TikTok.
Follow us on TikTok.
Even though we don't put it in a TikTok, we're going to get better at this, y'all.
Follow us at Twitch. We don't put shit on Twitch or TikTok. We got to work on
We old.
We
learning.
I'm not part of the Come Mierderia generation. Let me translate.
It's a different way of connecting.
Yeah,
I'm from the generation that we came from AOL chat rooms.
Yeah. I remember that.
Then
transitioned to MySpace.
No, Friendster.
I skipped on that one completely.
Friendster. Then and even then, I guess one of the greatest memes I'd love to look at is that I grew up in a generation that everything I did when I was young, there's no photos or videos or any kind of incriminating evidence about it.
I'm pretty sure all three of us in here are more or less around the same time frame. And it was if you were done with your TV time, you were outside running in the backyard doing some other shit outside.
Man, our parents kicked us out all the time. So like, go play with your friends.
My parents wouldn't even look where the hell I was until it was like 5:30 in the afternoon. The sun was beginning to come down. All I know is I had to be back at the house, showered and ready before dinner. Right?
Sun goes down, you got to be home.
Anything else in between, I was out running around somewhere else or until video gaming came to be, which was Nintendo NES,
Oh,
or
I was
Super
playing
Nintendo,
Nintendo
Sega
since
Genesis,
the 80s.
you know, or Sega Game Gear when that shit came out.
Game
Nintendo,
Gear, dang.
yeah, bro. Talk about
So
Game Boy, bro.
I was like, the Game Gear
Shit
used
had
to
6
suck up
double A's,
batteries,
bro. I would play Sonic on that shit
in
all
like
the time,
less than an hour.
and it wouldn't last me
That's
an
why
hour
the
and a
Game
half.
Boy was better. The Game Boy at least lasted longer because it had the gray screen, so it lasted a lot longer.
Then there was
using it.
the piece of shit Virtual Boy. If y'all ever had a Virtual Boy, that was
You had a Virtual
I had
Boy?
a fucking Virtual Boy. I hated that shit. Mario Tennis was the only thing I had on that thing, and it was black and red. That was it.
Yo, how did we turn it to gamer mode?
I don't know how we went to gamer mode, but it's we went back in time into a whole
I
different.
wish Javi was here. Javi would have been perfect, you know.
Yeah, Javi
Old
would've
school
had all
to like
the-
new school gaming.
But again, back to our original themes here: barbecue, outdoors. We talked about Olympic National Park, great place to go explore. I myself have it on my list of places to go see. And again, the 4 beers for tonight's episode, 3 of which are from Lake Lang, Florida, available on Carnival Cruise Lines: the Thirsty Frog, the Parched Pig West Coast IPA,
So he's
Parched
basically telling
Pig,
you get you asses on cruises.
Toasted Amber Ale, and then last but not least, the one with the weird ass name that Hyro threw into Saturnalia by OEC Brewing Company over in Oxford, Connecticut. All 4 of those beers are anywhere between a 4.8% APV, and the highest one we had here tonight was a 10.2.
Your favorite. Boy loves over 10.
That quadruple Belgian was good. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of this after we finish this podcast.
Well, I'm gonna keep enjoying this. Done.
That is it for today's episode, guys. Thanks for chatting in. For those of you who are live, following us live. For those of you who are listening in, please follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and all of the other media sources.
Instagram,
Twitch,
TikTok.
The YouTube is Outdoors Brews and BBQ. Instagram is
Ken
also
is talking us
Outdoors
through.
with an S, comma Brews. Well, it's on Instagram, so it's at Outdoors Brews BBQ. The Twitch is Outdoor without the S, Brews with the S, BBQ all together.
Yo, we confusing. We're gonna try.
Yeah, we confusing as hell. I couldn't consolidate the name to anything shorter, bro. But that is it for Outdoors Brews and Barbecue on this episode, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you, everyone. Peace.
Later.